Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Stock Market with your free Dow analysis for the trading session dated Wednesday the 11th of May. And I'm recording this video not too far before New York opens for the 12th. This is my main wave count on a daily chart for the Dow, which is expecting that we're getting towards the end of primary wave 2, but it's not over yet. I have 4 hourly wave counts for this piece of movement. And one of the ideas that I need to explain, but it doesn't illustrate very clearly, is that we may move the degree of labelling within all this little piece of movement down 1 degree, and within wave 5 blue we would have pink 1, 2, and then within pink 3, green 1 and 2. Once we have the next piece of upwards movement comfortably underway and we have a new high, which is what I'm expecting eventually, at that stage I'll run that alternate alongside this one. But to prevent the number of charts being too much, I won't chart it for you. At this stage, I'll simply leave this labelled as wave 4 pink, but if this invalidation point to the downside is breached below 12,450.93, at that stage we would move the invalidation point down here to the start of wave 3 pink, and then we would have 1 and 2 green. The target remains the same at 13,072.46 points. That's where wave 5 blue will reach 0.618, the length of wave 3 blue. I would expect upwards movement to come to end around about the upper edge of this big wide blue channel for the end of primary 2, for the end of this 5th wave. About that point would be expecting a trend change, and we'll have it only confirmed when we see a full candlestick below this big wide blue channel here on the daily chart. Taking you now to the first of 4 hourly charts, where the high for 3 pink up here is this point up here. Within wave 4 pink we may have had a 5-wave structure for A, a 3-wave structure, a zigzag for B, and working on a 5-wave structure down for C. This wave count also fits nicely with the idea that upwards movement would be wave 1 green, and this is an ABC zigzag for wave 2 green. If it is as labelled here, then wave 4 pink has no alternation in structure with wave 2 pink. But if we relabel it all down 1 degree and this is 1 and 2 green, then the problem of a lack of alternation is removed. That would also allow further downwards movement for wave C to reach equality with A, which is achieved at 12,426.34. That would be fine if this was wave 2 green, but it would be invalid if it was wave 4 pink. So this wave count expects that wave C green is unfolding as an impulse with an extended first wave, a second wave. We probably won't have an extended 3rd and 5th, or at least we won't have an extended one of those. We may have a brief 3, 4 and 5 on downwards to end wave C. Wave 2 may not move beyond the start of 1, so this wave count is invalidated in the short term with movement above 12,781.06 points. Before we see a satisfactory 3, 4, 5 down, that is. When that's over, we would be expecting upwards movement for the next upwards wave, but that's at least a couple of days away for this wave count. Alternatively, if we move the degree of labelling just within this last piece of movement all up 1 degree, we may have an A, B, C zigzag over for wave 4 pink with a truncated C wave. Despite the truncation, there is a ratio between C green and A green. The C wave is just 15.37 points short of 0.618, the length of wave A. Considering this is just over 203 points in length, that's not too much of a variation. There is some ratio between the two. This wave count would be invalidated with movement below 12,577.21, as now that 5 pink's underway, any second wave correction within it may not move beyond the start of the first. We may consider it confirmed initially with movement above 12,781.06, as that's where the main would be invalidated. Alternatively, we may move the degree of labelling here down, and this may be a complete ABC zigzag to the downside. A simple zigzag over here for wave 4 pink still doesn't have any alternation with wave 2 pink, although now there is a ratio between A and C, and a fairly decent one. However, this piece of movement here for wave 2 green is well out of proportion of what we would be expecting. The subdivisions do work. We can see this as a 3-wave structure. This can certainly be seen as a 3-wave structure. and this is an expanded flat for the second wave. A and C orange don't have a Fibonacci ratio, but this is longer than 105% the length of A. It's a 114% correction of A orange, so it meets the requirement for an expanded flat, and it has a fairly typical look, but it is significantly out of proportion for what we would be expecting. It's invalidated with movement below 12,577.21, and we may consider it initially confirmed if we see movement above 12,781.06, and finally it will be fully confirmed if we see price move above 12,876. Alternatively, it's also possible that we may be seeing a fourth wave triangle. Despite this being the last of my 4 hourly wave counts, it has a really good look, the subdivisions fit, and there are some nice ratios. If the triangle remains valid, price must remain for wave D below this point. D may not move beyond the end of B, and then when the zigzag upwards for D is complete, we must see a zigzag down for wave E, which may not move beyond the end of C, so price has to remain within these 2 price points and complete a zigzag up and a zigzag down for the triangle to remain valid. If that occurs, then this is very likely to be wave 4 pink, and we would not want to move the degree of labelling or here down 1 degree because we would not be expecting a triangle as the sole structure for a second wave correction. If this is the case and the triangle remains valid, then we'll have a high probability of expecting that the next upwards movement is a final 5th wave to finally end primary wave 2. So there are 4 different possibilities with a 5th idea in there if we move the degree of labelling for that first hourly chart. In the next day or so we should have some clarity. That's all for me today with your Dow analysis. I hope this helps you in your trading. No matter which of those hourly wave counts is correct, when the correction is over, we will be expecting further upwards movement because that 5th wave on the daily chart still requires further upwards movement to complete its structure. It's just how this correction is going to end is open to interpretation.